Right, good afternoon. Thanks for coming. Good to see you again. I'm going to look back to Saturday, our last non-conference game, and thought it was really a great win for our program. You know, we had a lot of unfortunate things take place early in the game. Got off to a good start with getting a pick early in the game, settled for a field goal, and then after that, you know, those things took place, and some of those were things we couldn't control. Some things were self-inflicted. Obviously, we address the things that are self-inflicted, but I really felt our team stuck together and had another good halftime in the locker room and came out and played a really good third quarter. You know, what really gave us some momentum, I felt, was late in the half after a turnover when our defense held them and we got the ball back and were able to run out the clock and end the half. And then another big key in the game, turning it over early in the third quarter and holding them to a field goal. You know, give our opponent credit. To hit a 54-yarder was big for them to go up, but then for us to get explosive plays, get the crowd back into it. And the crowd plays a factor at the Alara Center. We know that. So I was really pleased with the win. Finished on offense with 9 minutes running off the clock and ending up in the end zone. So a number of positive things we can build upon and get the things corrected that we need to get corrected. And we move forward to conference play and look forward to hosting Missouri State. I'm very impressed with their talent level. You know, we're trying to learn as much as we can about Coach Wright's team. A lot of newcomers on this team, but really impressed. Their quarterback has won a lot of games as a college quarterback, Johansson at South Dakota School of Mines, and he's got their longest run of the year, so he can hurt you with both his arm and his feet. Leading receiver is a basketball player and very athletic, and now he's back playing football, so we got to be aware of where he is on the field, but they have a number of guys make catches. So I think they're still trying to learn about their roster too with all these new players. And then their tailbacks are really good. You know, this is a team that's averaging over 4 yards a carry. One of their backs, I believe it is Morgan, is averaging over 6 yards a carry, but they're very capable and good up front on offense. So when anybody can rush the ball like they are effectively, that's a concern for you going into the game. And then defensively, a lot of new faces, but explosive players. I like their DNs. Barnes and Flowers are long and athletic. And then their top three tacklers are transfers from FBS schools, Georgia Tech, Florida Atlantic, and Cincinnati. So this is a team that we got to do a good job preparing, and the focus, as always, is going to remain on us and how we prepare for this game. It's homecoming, be a lot of excitement in the community, on campus, and we hope to have a packed Alara Center on Saturday.
You know, lots of different personnel, like you said. Is there scheme or style? Is there anything that you can pull from last year, or is it everything new?
Yeah, it's a lot new. You know, we tried to, throughout the summertime, do some work and where the coaches came in from, a lot of different influences, and try to, you know, look at what they're going to do and then take these 3 games that we have and try to break them down and see what's similar. But it creates a challenge. But, you know, there's Coach Wright worked for Coach Saban a couple of different occasions, and the other guys have other SEC experience and from different areas around the country. So we're just trying to figure it out as best we can.
You're coming in on a 4th straight home game. Now that you've gone through more than 3/4 of it, what's the experience been like? What do you think?
Yeah, you get into a good routine. I think it's been really good to get into a routine, and our guys, because we had a lot of new faces too. But I think we know what to expect at the Alara Center now, and we hope that we get a lot of energy going early. And as we talk to our guys all the time, you know, when we make plays, that creates the energy. And, you know, we've got to always remember that we still create the energy, but the home crowd's been awesome, and we feel like it'll be another great home crowd on Saturday, and if we can make some plays and get the energy going, it should help us.
I feel like this is the same question we just talked to volleyball about, but as you change to conference play, do you want your guys to have any different feel towards this newness, or do you want them to treat every game the same, or how do you transition here?
Well, I think some things happen naturally when you get into conference play. You're playing for something a little bit different. FCS football, though, every week's a big game because you're building a resume to get into the postseason. But, if we can stay in the moment and stay one day at a time, one practice at a time, and, make the next most important thing, the most important thing, that's really key for our team and for our preparation.
How about, is this Hall of Fame weekend as well here? You have any inductions you want to point out there?
Well, it's really fun. Mike Volker's going in for UND football, and I got to watch him play out at Old Memorial Stadium. Great player, and going to get to see him back on campus and his teammates, and it's always fun. This week is a lot of fun with a lot of excitement. Former players coming back and guys from the 60s, 70s, 80s. All those guys appreciate getting back and being together, and they'll come around and be around the team, and always a special week, homecoming week and Hall of Fame week.
You touched on Murray State already a little bit, Coach, but what do you think is the biggest challenge of facing them this weekend?
What Murray State is facing?
Yeah, Murray State, yeah.
Well, you probably have to ask them, but, I suppose they're going on the road and coming to a place for the first time. But, we're going to focus on our preparation and preparing for them. That's what we got to stay focused on.
How much do you think it helps your team to have come back twice in the second half to get a victory already this season in terms of adversity going forward?
Well, I just think it reinforces the belief that the guys have in each other and the belief we have in them, and that we can do it. You'd rather be ahead at halftime. You'd rather be ahead, but sometimes you're going to be behind, and especially in our league, there's going to be a lot of fourth quarter games and games that are coming down right to the finish, and that's what it prepares you for.
You mentioned the importance of energy earlier. With Murray State coming off a bye week and you guys really in the grind of your home stretch, how do you make sure that your guys are staying energized with Murray State being rested?
Yeah, I just hope we can do it. We talk to our guys about it. We talk, throughout the week. There's a physical preparation, mental preparation, and then you got to be at the right emotional level to play. And a lot of times that emotional level gets to the right point when you perform really well. And when you have adversity, it's harder to get to that point. But it can't be too high, can't be too low, but you got to find that right level to be at emotionally to perform at a high level.
Talking about ball security, with how strong Murray State is defensively, is there anything that you guys do differently to practice that or make sure that you hold on to your possessions?
Well, we practice it every day, and we've got to secure the ball. We know that. And, when we had some of those take place this past Saturday, and then you got to overcome them. You don't want those things to happen, but you sure got to be able to handle it and get back out there and have faith in the guys that we're going to secure the ball and give them opportunities to recover from those type of incidents.
Coach, a couple of touchdowns this past Saturday were wide open, on the back end of your defense. What have you guys talked about in terms of shoring that up, when you guys are going up against Murray State?
Yeah, you got to be a Simon Sharp. You really got to do that. And when you get a little different look, you got to be able to adjust to it. And we as coaches got to be able to prepare our guys as best we can for those looks, because you sure want teams to have to come and earn it each and every week. They got to earn their scores and make plays that they really have to work for. And when they don't have to work for them, that can give them a lot of momentum. But once again, I felt our guys did a really good job recovering from those situations, and the last 3 quarters of defense were really solid and really, really good when we really needed the defense to step up.
All right, and Coach, obviously, Rumfo comes in as the starter. What growth have you seen from him, especially with that deep ball that he displayed this past weekend?
Yeah, I think that was it. He made some explosive plays, and once again, he was able to recover after, one ball gets tipped and gets picked. The next one is, probably he would take back that decision, and And you got to be able to recover from that. And, he continues to learn and progress. But, as I said after the game, I just love that he's such a competitor and he can recover from those things, and he's tough. And I think the guys will rally around him, and we really appreciate that about him.
And then final question I have is, obviously the defense really stepped up in that second half, limiting San Diego's possessions and offensive yards. How important is it that your defense doesn't break down after a turnover on offense, and that they stay their ground and keep you guys in these games?
Those are huge points in the game. We walk through situations all the time, and we talk to our defense and talk about the sudden change that you got to look at it. This is an opportunity to get the momentum back, and we did a good job of that on Saturday. And the more you do that, the more belief you have, and we've got to continue to have that belief when our team needs our defense to step up and get momentum back, that we can run out there and do it.
And obviously you've talked about having a strong start in the beginning is huge for you guys. What offensively are you going to focus on this week heading in to ensure that you guys do have that?
Well, I think we practice it all the time, but the one thing you really got to do is play clean football, and part of that is eliminating penalties. We had some discipline penalties, the 5-yarders. There's a big difference between 1st and 10 and 1st 15. It might not seem like it's that big, or maybe it's a 2nd and 5 that becomes a 2nd and 10. Huge difference between those calls. So to play clean and take care of the ball is one thing that'll really help us to get off to a better start.
And with more realignment in the FBS level and rumors about other Missouri Valley teams moving to backfill, have you kept any tabs on anything along those lines?
I really haven't. We got a lot of work to do to prepare for games. So that's our job, is to really focus. And, just like we talked to our players about eliminating outside noise, we got to do the same as coaches. I feel like I got to do the same and just really focus on what's taking place in our building, getting ready for games and to compete during the 2024 season. That's our focus right now.